Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the Nerdic Pro podcast. How are we doing this evening? My name is, as per usual, Bobby effing Salazar, and welcome to episode of week number 220, I believe, of Nerdic Pro Weekly. And welcome to a bit of a, what do you want to call it? Mainly a wrestling podcast, but mainly a bit of a general sort of dick about, screw about, whatever the fuck sort of podcast, whatever it is you want to call it. Welcome to the Nerdic Pro podcast YouTube channel. I can start this up properly. There we are. Let me stick you on. There we are. My stand for my phone is downstairs, and I can't be bothered to go and get it. So I'm gonna hope that this don't fall down during the proceedings of this podcast. And so less than 24 hours ago in the world of pro wrestling, more specifically All Elite Wrestling, Tommaso Ciampa debuted in AEW, literally less than a week after his WWE contract had expired. And it turns out that he's going to be challenging Mark Briscoe for the AEW TNT Championship this coming Saturday in, I believe, Arlington, Texas. For AEW Collision. So, before we get started in all that, if you guys do like what you see, then please do give us a subscribe here on the Nerdic Pro podcast. We would like to try and get to 500 subscribers come the end of 2026. I believe we're on 133 at the moment, so if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. Spotify's not been updated for God knows how long, but got to get back to that at some point. What was I saying? Also, so this weekend, I'd also like to announce that the Nerdic Pro podcast will be doing live reactions to Smackdown as well as the Royal Rumble. So tomorrow, SmackDown, and then Saturday, the Royal Rumble. Got to be going live about 10 minutes, about 5-10 minutes before both shows start. So, I believe Tommy Lambert's coming back on for both of them, and as well, our Irish correspondent, Mr. Ian McWilliams, as well. Obviously, as well as myself. As is the annual tradition for the Nerdic Pro podcast to do a live reaction to the Royal Rumble and as well both nights of WrestleMania. So, anyways, so on to we're also doing thanks, Richie, for reminding me. We're doing a pre-recorded predictions pod as well for the Royal Rumble at some point, I believe, tomorrow. Richie's obviously got to get all his predictions wrong, and he's, as per usual, going to change his mind when it comes to all his predictions every 2 minutes. So, his predictions are going to be null and void. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so Tommaso Ciampa. Going into an article from the guys over at Wrestling News, the great guys over there. Tommaso Ciampa put on notice by first AEW opponent after massive debut. Tommaso Ciampa officially made his AEW debut and has been signed to Tony Khan's promotion. This move took place just days after Ciampa left the WWE. On the latest episode of AEW Dynamite, Mark Briscoe successfully defended his title against El Gon after his match. So after his match, Ciampa came out to a huge pop and confronted Briscoe. A TNT Championship bout between the two men has been made official for the upcoming episode of Collision this Saturday. In a video posted by AEW on Twitter, Mark Briscoe cut a promo directed at Ciampa's AEW debut. He said, and I quote, "You know I couldn't have took a spiral notebook and ballpoint pen and wrote it down any better than the way it happened in Austin, Texas. I ran through El Clone and I made it a challenge. Anybody who wants it, meet me in Dallas, baby." The lights went out, the flames got ablazing, the music hit, and a familiar face showed up at the top of the ramp. Tommaso Ciampa, long time brother, but hey, that's what I like, that's what I want to see. I'm here to reign and defend, not to duck, to dodge. I want the battle, I want the war, I want the fight, baby. So Tommaso, the man I can't wait for Saturday Night Collision, TNT title on the line. Welcome to TNT. Welcome to AEW. Ciampa's message to WWE fans before his AEW debut. Obviously, I've spoken about it. Tommaso's exit a couple of times the past couple of weeks on Nerdic Pro Weekly. In a post on Twitter, the former DIY member sent a heartfelt goodbye to the WWE Universe. In the very near future, my contract with the WWE will officially come to an end. I'd like to thank every single person who contributed to the last 10 years of this incredible journey. Camera crew, ring crew, hair and makeup team, seamstresses, referees, creative, producers, catering crew, commentators, ring announcers, travel department, medical team, talent reps, and anybody I may have missed. A very special thank you to all the men and women who I've shared a ring and locker room with. Nothing but love and respect. And I would be remiss not to give a special thank you to my black and gold family. You will forever hold an incredibly special place in my heart. To the fans who have shown love and support over the last 2 decades, thank you from the bottom of my heart. To my wife and daughter, you are my rock and my forever. In the inverted commas, why? I love you more. I spent the first decade of my career traveling the world on the independent scene. I spent the second decade of my career traveling the world with WWE. I have 1 decade remaining, and I'm beyond excited for whatever challenges lie ahead. So I'd imagine I'm not the only one who would have thought that Don Callis would have come out to Jay Briscoe's open challenge for Saturday. Obviously, as we've seen pretty much since Mark Briscoe first joined AEW, obviously after Jay Briscoe had died. Could you believe it? Like, it's been 3 years now since Jay died. I remember waking up like that morning, and literally what woke me up that morning when Jay had actually died was my phone continuously going off, being like ping, 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 of about a dozen different people dropping into my inbox saying that Jay had died. And I'm like, fuck, I actually cried when I found out that he died. And Yeah, mate, because Mark and Jay are legit one of the all-time greatest tag teams to ever exist and to ever walk the face of the earth. I don't give a flying fuck what anyone says. They are one of the legit greatest of all time when it comes to tag wrestling. And I would gladly put them up against any other tag team throughout the history of pro wrestling. But yeah, pretty much since Mark's been on AEW TV, he's been, feuding with Don Callis and several members of the Don Callis family, obviously past and present. So I'd have thought it would have been thingied by him, like answered by Don Callis on behalf of a member of the Don Callis family, but obviously it was answered by Tommaso Ciampa. So, what does that mean for the AEW TNT Championship? Are we going to see Mark Briscoe still your AEW TNT champion after Saturday? Or are we going to see a new TNT champion in Tommaso Ciampa's in-ring debut, where he in the space of 2 months, he'd have challenged for the WWE US title and the AEW TNT title. So both companies' mid-card titles literally within the space of like 2 months, because his last WWE match, I believe, was against Carmelo Hayes for the US title, which then he's not been back on WWE TV since. So, anyways, could we see Tommaso Ciampa, your new TNT champion? Guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, so, speaking of the Rumble, thanks to Richie reminding me, e-wrestling news, again, the guys over there have an article written about potentials for the thingy, for the, Rumbles, the men and women's. So, I can't stop yawning. Literally, my body clock's been absolutely fucking wank the past couple of weeks. And, the article the main title is More Potential the 2026 WWE Royal Rumble. Spoilers, Chris Jericho, Paige, The Inspiration, and more. This is by Ryan Clark of eWrestling News. It's WWE Royal Rumble week. Literally, the Rumble is, I'd probably say, my favourite pay-per-view of the calendar year for WWE. 9 times out of 10, I massively prefer the Rumble over Mania. And, it's WWE Royal Rumble week, and with that comes plenty of speculation about potential surprises and returning names for the event. Because this year's show takes place in Saudi Arabia, there will be no WrestleCon, which significantly limits the number of former WWE talents who might already be in the area during the Royal Rumble week. With that in mind, Fightful Select, so Sean Ross Sapp's gaff, has put together a list of several names that have been frequently discussed in recent speculation. Chris Jericho remains listed on AEW's official roster page, which is typically updated quickly when a talent departs the company. There was also a false rumor circulated about WWE trademarking Judas. That claim was inaccurate. Now, with Chris Jericho, I am aware that his contract was meant to have expired, right, with AEW. Now, I did see something a couple of days ago, because I'm aware that Fozzy, so Chris Jericho's band, are soon to be starting a European tour, and they have a gig booked in Bradford, here in England, and apparently this is meant to be in partnership with TKO. Obviously, TKO being the merger company between between WWE and UFC. So the subsidiary of Endeavor. So yeah, if that is in partnership or whatever the fuck with TKO, could that potentially mean Chris making the jump back to WWE or not? So yeah, again, I've spoken about Chris being back in WWE a couple of times this year because end of last month, start of this year, because he hasn't been seen in AEW since April of last year, something like that. And yeah, so anyways, LA Knight. As of earlier this month, Knight was scheduled to travel to Saudi Arabia, and there have been signs and preparations suggesting that he will be in attendance. Again, if you would, send a notification. Something about Uber, I don't really care. The inspiration, after their departure from TNA, they are not currently planned for the 2026 Royal Rumble, despite the interest from promotions outside of TNA. So, the inspiration are the former Iconics, so Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, as they were known as in WWE. Since departing WWE during the COVID era, they've had a couple of stints in TNA. When they left WWE, they pretty much jumped straight to TNA. I believe won the TNA Knockouts tag titles, lost them, left for a couple of years, recently come back, won the tag titles again, and lost them. I believe they ended up losing them last week before on TNA's debut on AMC. That was the same show that Perez Hilton was on. Absolute cunt of a human being. There we are. So it would be good to see him back in WWE, you know, as a tag team. As they've always been like that tag together, you know, in WWE and in AEW, not in AEW, TNA, sorry. So yeah, it would be good to have them back in WWE, not just for the Rumble, but in the long run, in the long run as well, to help sort of boost the women's tag division, because it's becoming the norm where, you know, it's continuously being two people just being thrown together as a tag team, having a tag title run, and then that being the end of it. And yeah, so anyways, Powerhouse Hobbs, Will Hobbs. Hobbs is officially signed to WWE. I did not actually know that, to be fair. And it would be surprising if he isn't brought over in some capacity. That said, he was not on the main charter flight with the rest of the talent. To be fair, I didn't actually know that he was signed to WWE, so that's news to my ears. So, I know that he went with I can't fucking speak. I knew that he weren't with AEW anymore. So, yeah. Tiffany Stratton. WrestleVotes Radio previously reported that Stratton was listed internally among the talent expected to travel to Saudi Arabia. That information dates back several weeks. See her come back against Nia Jax. Nia Jax comes out during the Women's Rumble. Very next entrant, Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton fucks her over, etc. And then, you know, we see the reunification of the feud between Nia Jax and Tiffany time. Saraya, I have so for those of you that don't know, I referee wrestling here in the UK. Coincidentally, I have refereed Saraya's brother, Roy Knight. and her eldest nephew of Ricky Hart Jr., RKJ, as they're both, as her family's literally from like an hour up the road from me, if that, in Norwich. So yeah. So Saraya had been scheduled for a convention up until last week. I would probably say that might have been the For the Love of Wrestling convention in Manchester. I believe it's in this year. But anyway, so Saraya had been scheduled for a convention up until last week. But the event was postponed. Oh no, never mind. That wouldn't have been For the Love of Wrestling. But it's For the Love of Wrestling this, anyways. Because yeah. Anyway, so Saraya had been scheduled for a convention up until last week, but the event was postponed due to a venue double booking. Not because she cancelled to appear at the Royal Rumble. Her availability at least leaves the door open, although she was still in the United States as of Wednesday night. So as of last night. So all because she was still in the States as of last night doesn't mean to say that she's not going to be in Saudi as of Saturday. But if she was already booked to be a convention over the weekend, then that would literally mean that Saraya Page would have been booked for the Royal Rumble this weekend as a literal last minute thing. Kevin Owens. Owens was not medically cleared by WWE as of the weekend of Saturday night's main event. Thing is due to what his injury is Owens going to return within this year? Because it was the week of Mania, the week before Mania last year. He ended up getting injured with his neck, wasn't it? Which obviously, with it being a neck injury, neck injuries could potentially, depending on the severity of it, could put a permanent strain on your wrestling career or a very long strain on your wrestling career. I think Edge is the prime example to that. Adam Copeland, whatever it is you want to call him, he literally had to retire because of it. Had triple fusion neck surgery because of it. Had to retire because of said injury and surgery. Spent 9 years out, and then I'm not saying that Kevin Owens is going to spend anywhere near 9 years out, but I think that when it comes to neck injuries, I think you look at Edge, and I think he's the prime example for what could potentially happen with neck injuries. So, Seth Rollins, obviously, we've seen what's happened with Seth Rollins recently. So, Rollins has stated he will not be at the Royal Rumble, and most within WWE reportedly did not expect him to physically be ready in time. Zoe Stark is still recovering from an ACL injury. Michin, so Mia Yim. I don't like that they call her Michin still. I still refer to Michin as Mia Yim. That's what I knew her before. The whole transition into Michin and her with AJ and the thingy, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. Sol Ruka is expected to be in Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble, with several NXT talents scheduled to present for the event. As is the norm for the Rumble, pretty much since NXT's inception. It's pretty much been every single year where someone from NXT's come up. I think the first one back in 2013, whatever it was, was Bo Dallas. I believe he ended up winning a contendership thing to be in it, as well as Rusev, going back to when he was still wrestling as Alexander Rusev. And so anyway, so myself and Richie and whoever else can be asked to come on to the predictions pod will be predicting the Rumble anyways on a pre-recorded podcast, which will be released during the day on Saturday. I believe we're recording that tomorrow, I think, to then be able to put it out for Saturday. So before I do call it a day, I also want to come on here to speak about AJ Styles. AJ Styles, what is happening with AJ Styles? Because a couple of days ago on Monday, he wrestled CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title. I thought that was a really good match. He's putting his career in jeopardy, if you want to call that, this Saturday against Gunther. And he's already said that this year of 2026 will be his final year of being a wrestler. So this is an e-wrestling article about this past Monday and of what Triple H has said in regards to AJ's retirement. CM Punk and AJ Styles shared an emotional moment in the ring after WWE Raw went off the air this week. The two wrestled in the main event, which resulted in a no contest due to Finn Balor's interference. Styles thanked Punk and told him he loved him, while Punk praised Styles' career and said he was an honor to have shared the ring with him ahead of the phenomenal one, potentially retiring at the 2026 Royal Rumble pay-per-view event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Styles said, "Hey, Punk, I don't care who knows. We definitely had some hard times, but I'm so grateful that you and I were in this ring tonight. And I want to tell you in front of everybody, thank you so much. I love you, brother." Punk said, "Look, I don't care what happens in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. When AJ Styles takes on Gunther, I just know that I'm going to be the one glued to the monitor, watching just like all of you, pointing towards the crowd. And I mean this when I say it. AJ, I whispered it to you earlier. I don't care who knows it publicly. It has been a privilege to know you. It's been a privilege to call you a friend. It's been an honor to share the ring with you. I speak as a fan. I hope Saturday's not it, but if it is, man, what a hell of a career." During a recent appearance on ESPN's First Take podcast, Paul Triple H Levesque revealed his all-time favorite Royal Rumble moment while promoting this year's event on ESPN programming. The WWE Chief Content Officer picked Shawn Michaels' dramatic 1995 escape when HBK hung over the top rope before skinning the cat back into the ring and going on to win the match and headline WrestleMania. Triple H said, and I quote, "For everybody, it's one of the classic moments. It's Shawn Michaels in 1995 hanging over the top rope with one arm balancing himself and his feet not touching the ground, and Davey Boy thinking he'd won, obviously meaning the British Bulldog. It was the first time we had ever seen someone be that close to an elimination, where they were just hanging off the skin of their teeth out of the drama. You could just feel the craziness and emotion, and Shawn was able to what we call skin the cat, back into the ring, win the Royal Rumble, and go on to become champion at WrestleMania. During her recent appearance on Hot Ones versus with CM Punk, AJ Lee revealed an extended Mount Rushmore of women's wrestlers. None of this has got anything to do with fucking AJ, has it? No. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to this Saturday because you look at it logically. Within the past year, less than a year, Gunther has retired Goldberg in Goldberg's hometown. He's also retired John Cena, obviously, towards the end of last year. Could he potentially retire a third person in the space of less than a year of AJ Styles? Because I think how they are playing it off, if Gunther wins, AJ Styles retires straight away. However, I mean, do they have him retire 3 legends of the business within the space of less than 12 months, i.e. Goldberg, Cena, and then AJ Styles? Or do they have AJ basically doing a somewhat repeat of Cena, but not kind of the repeat of Cena, where they have AJ beat Gunther on Saturday in Saudi Arabia at the Rumble. Later on in the night, have him win the Rumble, have him enter the Rumble as well as wrestle against Gunther. Because just think, this is something that AJ Styles has never done. He's never won the Royal Rumble. He made his debut in WWE in the 2016 Royal Rumble 10 years ago. Can you believe that? 10 years it's been since AJ Styles has been with WWE. The TNA legend, like the New Japan legend, the former leader of the Bullet Club. Pre-WWE, he had such a great career. He came in at the Royal Rumble. He was world heavyweight champion within less than a year. He's already become a Grand Slam champion in the space of 4 to 5 years. Because I think it was 2020 or 2021 when he ended up winning the tag titles with the Raw tag titles with Omos, when he ended up becoming the Grand Slam champion. But yeah, so he's already a Grand Slam champion, but he's never won the Royal Rumble. Could he become the 2026 Men's Royal Rumble winner? Or something else he's never achieved? Could he potentially become the 2026 Men's Mr. Money in the Bank after Mania? But obviously, we're in Mania season, so obviously everyone's got to want a fantasy book up until Mania. So at the moment, I'm going to try and stick with him beating Gunther. Well, then playing it out. So if Gunther wins, AJ Styles is done. Off your fuck. And then win the Rumble. So obviously have him beat Gunther. And then, so by him beating Gunther, he's then able to remain within WWE, blah, blah, blah. And then basically, like how I said with Cena, whoever beats him retires him. Like whoever's the first to beat him retires him. Could they potentially do it like that? Because that's sort of how they seem to be doing it at the minute with Gunther tied in with that storyline. So could it be the sense that they want it to be whoever beats AJ first retires him, and then that's that. He's done. Do you know what I mean? You know, could he win the Rumble, go on to Mania, face Punk again, or whoever ends up being the world champion come Mania, and then, I don't know, lose, and then that'd be the end of that, and what have you, and then he retires at Mania. Do you know what I mean? And then we end up seeing CM Punk, AJ Styles one last time. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, like there's several bits and pieces that you know we can throw into this and what have you for all that for AJ's retirement. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so anyways, be sure to be joining us tomorrow. Speaking of, what time does SmackDown start tomorrow? As I would like to know that. SmackDown down. I'm just Googling it, just to see what time it starts. So, SmackDown start time, January 30th. Start time, preferably in the UK if possible. Oh, fuck me. So this episode of... Oh, you can piss off. This episode of the Blue Brand will serve as the go-home show for the Royal Rumble in 2026. The road to WrestleMania will officially begin at the Royal Rumble, but WWE Smackdown on January 30th, 2026 carries a major momentum coming out of an explosive WWE Saturday night's main event. With rivalries escalating and championship pictures sharpening, this week's Blue Brand episode serves as a crucial bridge between Montreal's chaos and the high stakes awaiting at the WWE Royal Rumble. Saturday night set the tone. Drew McIntyre asserted himself as a dominant, undisputed... I don't really care about that. Just tell me. It's all right. So, already announced for it, we've got the undisputed WWE champion Drew McIntyre and number one contender Sami Zayn go face to face. Cody Rhodes, Jade Cargill, Sami Zayn, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and Damian Priest are all featured as superstars for the show. Hurrah! That doesn't answer the question. 8 p.m. Eastern, so that's what? 8 p.m. 4 o'clock over here? Piss off, it's just start at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow night. Yeah, January 30th. Same fucking article that was on, but... Oh, so 5 o'clock. Good. I was going to fucking say. Yeah, so got to try and go live for about 5 to 5 tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon, technically. So, yeah, ready to watch that. So, yeah, join us tomorrow for that. And, yeah, so according to this, the United States, Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific. PT. No, Pacific, no. Pacific is PC. I don't fucking know. Canada, 12 p.m. Eastern, or ET. United Kingdom and Ireland, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. India, 10:30 p.m. IST. Bangladesh, 11 p.m. BST. Saudi Arabia, 8 p.m. AST. Australia, 3 a.m. AEST. 4 a.m. AEDT. France, Brazil, Mexico, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so yeah, that's 5 p.m. That's going to be starting every days. And then, yeah. Join us tomorrow for that, and then join us Saturday for the live reactions to the Royal Rumble. So, yeah, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the Nerdic Pro podcast, my name is, as per usual, Bobby effing Salazar. Join us this weekend for the Rumble. Join me on this coming Tuesday for episode of week number 221 of Nerdic Pro Weekly for a bit of a different episode. There will be a tiny bit of wrestling in it. However, I want to do a bit of a different one where I chat a bit about Dragon Ball and chat a bit about Pokemon, as I've been getting into that the past sort of couple of weeks. Dragon Ball mainly. But yeah, so anyways, thank you all very much for watching. If you like what you see, please do hit that subscribe button. And I shall be seeing you all later. Goodbye.